Hello and welcome to another edition of an English Guy Watching Wrestling. I'm that English guy, I'm Nick. Thank you so much for clicking on another video, I really do appreciate it. And this one we're going to be covering the 28th of April 2021 edition of All Elite Wrestling Dynamite, or AEW Dynamite if you prefer. And it was a very good episode this week, to definitely say the least. So with that being said, jump right into it. The opening matchup was between Brian Cage and Hangman Adam Page. Now, last week we had Hangman Adam Page versus Ricky Starks as the very first time the two men ever clashed in the ring. It was a very good match, and this was no different. A very different kind of match because Brian Cage is a much larger opponent. But again, this was a superb opener, and I think this was a real test of what both men can do in very unique styles of their own ways. Because Brian Cage is a heavyweight and he's built like a tank. I've said it before. But there's not to say he can't move around the ring like a cruiserweight, because he can. And Hangman Page kind of used that to his advantage to counteract some of the things that Brian Cage did. And that's really, really good to see because it shows that they've done this homework. And I'm going to say it, Brian Cage winning was not what I expected, because Hangman Page has been on a real tear as of late in 2021. He's been winning pretty much everything. All the matches he's been involved in, he's looked great. Hangman Page always does, though. But Brian Cage winning was not something I expected. But definitely nothing against that. Nothing against that at all, because I do like Brian Cage. Teams has been in the spotlight recently and it's been great. And teams are saying Brian Cage showed again just how good he is. And this was a very, very good match and a great opener to this show. And definitely both men showed a lot of chemistry with each other. I don't know if they've ever wrestled each other before, but they have. Then that's obviously chemistry that was there before was there in this match. But this was a very good match. I enjoyed it. Brian Cage winning was not the decision not the ending I expected, but again, sometimes when you see things you don't expect, you kind of like it. And this was a very, very good opener to what was a superb Dynamite. And I wouldn't mind seeing more Team Taz versus Hangman Page in the future. Maybe Wolf Hobbs will get a chance, who knows? But that being said, great opener. So definite thumbs up to both men for this one. Very, very good stuff. And this match was the Young Bucks versus the Seidel brothers. And very rarely in AEW do you see this. Very rarely do you see two brother tag teams face each other. I don't think this has ever happened in AEW before, to be honest. Maybe it has, fine. But again, the new Young Bucks turn to heel. It's been very entertaining to watch. Seeing the old Young Bucks come back in terms of the old Bullet Club days when they were heel. And obviously with them being alongside Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers, it's just been thoroughly entertaining to watch, sorry. And against the Seidel brothers, you were going to get great chemistry, and you definitely got that in this one. This is a very, very good tag match. And honestly, this was a matchup I would happily see any day of the week. It was chemistry between four individuals who know each other very, very well. Seidel has faced the Young Bucks before. I'm not sure if he's ever faced them with his brother before, but this is first ever time this has happened in AEW. But this was a cracking match. The chemistry between both teams was in there in abundance. And of course, the Young Bucks, with their new heel ways, showed it superbly. And they were showing off in those little ways. And I kind of love it. And the Young Bucks are perhaps my favourite tag team in AEW. But it's not to say these two did not really bring a really good devilish heel side to them, shall we say. It was a very good match. And I think the Young Bucks winning was the right call. But not to say the Seidel brothers did not do a superb job. And they did. And I still can't get over the double meteor from the top rope. I don't see any other team doing that. I'm all for it. But this was a very good tag match. I enjoyed this a great deal. So definitely check this one out. If you liked two tag teams that are brothers going at each other, you can't go wrong with this. So thumbs up to all individuals involved. And next match was Orange Cassidy versus Penta El Cielo Miedo. The feud between Death Triangle and Best Friends continues in what was a very good match. And I'm not going to say Orange Cassidy's toughest test to date, shall we say. That's not going to be fair because he's faced some tough opponents in the past. But this was a superb match and one of my matches of the night, if just under the main event as one match of the night, to be completely honest. I really loved the chemistry between these two. We really got the sloth style, no other way to say it, which Cassidy clashed with the intensity, I'm going to say, of Penta, and of course, just a brilliant all-round wrestler. You're going to get very unique but good chemistry working, and there was a bit more, shall we say, of, I won't say, best way to use. aggression of Orange Cassidy. I won't say that aggression. I think more of a chance to prove himself, but more a little bit of a serious side to him in this match because obviously him versus Penta is going to work, and this did work, and I really really did enjoy this. And this is the kind of matchup you don't see very often in AEW. Someone like Penta versus someone like Orange Cassidy. But this is one I would happily see again any day of the week. I really enjoyed the chemistry between sorry, both may not get there in the end. But I really enjoyed this one, and I think this. As I said, I've enjoyed the feud between the two factions as of late because it's so different from most wrestlers and most faction wars in AEW because best friends, fun-loving bunch of individuals, as you know. Yeah, kind of absolutely love that. And you got the more serious Death Triangle. I'm all for it, and I really enjoyed this one. I'm really enjoying the continued feud between the two of them. So, thumbs up for that. Can't fault it. And next was Chris Statlander making an AEW Dynamite return in Matty Singles competition against Penelope Ford. Now, of course, everybody remembers Arcade Anarchy between Best Friends and Kip Sabian and Miro. And during that match, Chris Statlander made her return in the. I will say the best way to describe it is an arcade machine that is the crane to grab soft toys and pick them up. It might not be soft toys, it can be anything, I'm sure. If you look it up, you'll see it. Excuse me. You'll see them in a few different places. But she was inside the machine, pushed the perplex glass into Penelope Ford, and basically hit her hard, shall we say. And of course, Penelope Ford didn't forget that, and so this was a matchup to, shall we say, hopefully bookend little feud they had. And this was a very good match too. And I have never seen these two in the ring before against each other. If they have, I don't really remember it, but this was a very good match. Chris Statlander has not missed a step since returning since 11 months since her injury, and this is really really good stuff. Again, great chemistry in the women's division, and it's just continuing to grow. This was definitely an example of that. And Penelope Ford has been great since her return. Not been back very long in a couple of matches, but she's not missed a step either. And it worked. I think Chris Statlander winning was the right call, but not to say there were some very unique offensive moves in this match from Chris Statlander and Penelope Ford. But because of their unique styles and unique athleticism, shall we say, it worked. And that's the kind of thing you'd love to see. And I have absolutely no objections to Chris Statlander being part of Best Friends. It just works for some weird reason. But if it works, it works. What else can you say? And great to see her back on AEW Dynamite. She's been back on AEW Dark Elevation. But of course, all for it. Thumbs up to both ladies for a very entertaining match. And definitely not the kind of women's match you're used to seeing in AEW, to be honest, with the unusual maneuvers, counter wrestling. But I'm all for it. So, very unique change of pace in terms of wrestling. Definitely a good thing though. So, thumbs up for that. Oh, my phone has done something bizarre. So, then we had the Nightmare Factory versus the Factory. We had QT Marshall, Nick Comoroto, and Aaron Solo, I think. So, my apologies. My phone seems to have missed one out, but I will be. Well, the main event we will get to very, very soon. I'm usually prepared, but for some reason it seems to have disappeared. But to do for you, I will happily change this. Getting ready. So sometimes my phone doesn't want to capture things. It hasn't done this way. A little behind the scenes thing here, shall we say. Oh. I don't think my phone's going to play ball. It will eventually. It's just, since I've got a new phone, it's a bit slow sometimes, and I do apologise. I am not going to re-record it. Oh, so my phone has decided to do something bizarre. Okay, anyway. It was. Then that's why, because the person didn't see it. My apologies. Okay. It was the Nightmare Factory versus the Factory. And of course, those who've been watching, sorry, very itchy eye right now. Those who've been watching the feud between the two know that it's been a very unusual feud. Very rarely do you see a wrestling factory kind of split down the middle, but you are seeing it here. And I really enjoyed this one because the disrespect shown by QT Marshall, Nick Camarato, and others for this match was great. Coming in the Nightmare Factory bus, I personally didn't know that the Nightmare Factory had a bus, to be completely honest. But they arrived in it, and it was just so disrespectful, but so good to see. And it was a breakdown of both factions hitting each other very hard until QT Marshall went over towards the bus, and who was on board the bus? The returning Cody Rhodes kicked open the door and attacked QT Marshall. Of course, Cody Rhodes, and it is his name to the Nightmare Factory. And it was a very entertaining matchup, this one, to see this kind of brawl. They brawled. That's the only way to say it, the Nightmare Factory and the Factory. It was great, great stuff. I enjoyed it. So a definite thumbs up for producing a very entertaining and entertaining ending. Of course, next week it's been signed. QT Marshall versus Cody Rhodes. So can't fault that, thumbs up. Which brings us to the main event and my match of the night. AEW TNT Championship. Darby Allin defending against Dark Order's number 10. Now, of course, with the recent defenses of Darby Allin on AEW Dynamite, defending the title over and over and over again, he's proven to be defending champion. I think now he has the most defenses out of anybody against a very game Dark Order number 10, and this was a very, very good match. Now, if there's something that is synonymous with the Dark Order and the TNT title, is the Dark Order and that title because of the late great Brody Lee. And Darby Allin won in what was a very, very competitive back and forth match. I absolutely loved it. And the clash of these two guys was so unique. Dark Order's number 10 is a very big guy, very, very strong. Perhaps one of the, if not the strongest member of the Dark Order against Darby Allin. Of course, there are those who know he's not afraid of anything. He's not afraid to take any risks. But the very, very nice tribute paid by Darby Allin, because Dark Order number 10 has a armband that had Brody's name on it. Of course, it was taken off by Darby Allin with great respect to show up. Was an amazing touch. But the match itself was just excellent. I really loved the chemistry between these two because it was so unique. Dark Order's number 10, a very, very strong individual, and Darby Allin. And when you've got a guy like 10, who Darby Allin was finding it difficult to really find a kink in his armour, because Dark Order number 10 wrestled a very good match here. He was overpowering Darby Allin, doing some very unique manoeuvres against Darby Allin, but Darby Allin found a way back and hit a very strong stun dog millionaires and ripped at number 10's mask a little bit to kind of distract him. So a little bit dirty tactics, shall we say, from the man himself. But I really enjoyed the kind of unique side to Darby Allin in this one. And Dark Order number 10 coming thrown off his game a little bit. And very unique chemistry, but good chemistry. It's good to see something a little bit different in terms of this, because like I said, Darby Allin was trying to get through Darby Allin's defense, managed to, and get the win with Darby Allin's roll up when the Dark Order's number 10 was doing his full Nelson finisher. But he rolled through and got the pin. But as I said, the chemistry between these two was superb. They really put some superb counter offense in against two very unique styles clash of styles, two very unique wrestlers against each other. It works. So it's the kind of main event you like to see. What was overall a very good episode of Dynamite, and it's continuing to shine and go from strength to strength to strength. And next week is the big one, is Blood and Guts, which I think everybody's looking forward to. So all signs point to next week. All fingers and thumbs up. It's going to be looking forward to next week. So now a very unusual way of saying all thumbs up. Everything else I want to say. Anyway, bit of unusual ending, but you know what? We will end it here with that. Thank you so much for watching. I will see everybody next time. But until that time, take care.